What's poppin', Rob Television? Welcome back to another reaction with your boy. As you can see by the title, man, yes, I'm back with my third and final Michael Jordan video for the day. Now, this video, I didn't even think about this video until like I was coming up with ideas for the other two videos, but this has been a trending situation in my comments from, I think it might have been the LeBron James and Michael Jordan comparison video. I forgot exactly what the title of the video was, but this was a trending comment and I kept seeing this comment over and over and over again, and that's: how many points would Michael Jordan average in today's NBA? Now, we had a lot of people. Now, you jumping out the gun saying this. I'm a Michael Jordan fan. I'm a sports fan too. I'm a sports fan first. So when you say kind of bold, like crazy, like put it this way, Michael Jordan is not averaging 50 points in today's NBA. When you think about 50 points, bro, that's a lot of points. Michael Jordan is not averaging 50 points in today's NBA. I'm not saying that he couldn't score 50 points, nor am I saying he doesn't possess the talent to average 50 points. I want y'all to understand that. I'm just saying, realistically, he's not averaging 50 points. You got to understand, it's good for a player to even average 25, 28, 30 points. And to say he's going to average 50 points is outrageous. Now, I ain't going to make this intro too long because I'm interested in seeing what he's going to say in this video. But that's just my thoughts on it before we get in this video. But before we get this video, man, do me a big, I know I'm starting with my words, man. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Click that post notification bell to be notified on all things Rob Television. Let's check this out, man. All right, you guys, do me a big favor, man. Before you get into this video, if you haven't already, man, follow me on all my social medias: Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. All the links will be down in the description. And if you wasn't notified on this from my previous videos, I also have a PayPal just in case you guys want to donate whatever the amount is. It don't matter. It could be 50 cents. You know what I mean? If you want to donate that, make sure you show me some love on that. PayPal link will be in the description as well. All my links for everything is in the description, man. Make sure y'all show that some love. Let's get into this video. Let's check this out.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today, I'm going to be answering a question I am frequently asked, and that is: how much points per game will Michael Jordan average in today's NBA? And I think that's a great question, but I've never really had an exact answer for you. And I know you guys probably see former NBA players always saying Jordan would average 50 or 60 points per game. And I do think that is a slight exaggeration. But those players, they usually never have any data or any facts or evidence to back up those claims. But that will all change.
And I feel like with a lot of them, it's based off of Michael Jordan's mentality, which Michael Jordan has a killer mindset. Like I said, it's only a few people who possess that mindset. Mike, Kobe, Bird. Them like three people that I've seen. Like, I'm not saying other people aren't talented, but I'm talking about that killer mentality to where it's like, I'm going to go out and win. It's only the three people I've seen since I've been watching. Now, I'm not saying there's more out there. I'm not saying there's not more out there. It probably is, but I haven't seen them yet. But that's an exaggeration to say 50, 60 some points, man. That's crazy.
All changed today, as I have some pretty good evidence to show you guys how much Jordan would average in 2020. So before I dive into all the data and numbers, I think we need to establish three important things.
Now, once again, don't feel like you can't come at me, because I'm open. I'm open to hearing you guys' perspective. That's what makes this fun, when you guys chime in and let me know, hey Rob, you tripping, this, that, and the third. Let me know. Give me your stats and I'm gonna read it. And I'm gonna take a little heed to what you're saying, but that's just my opinion. It ain't no conviction that none of y'all can do. He ain't averaging no 50, 60 points a game. I'm just gonna be honest.
Number one being, for Michael Jordan, he would be great in any era, as he is one of the most skilled players the NBA has ever seen. He's also one of the best athletes, not only in NBA history, but in the history of sports. He was also one of the best finishers at the rim, one of the best mid-range shooters, and he had an unparalleled work ethic that would make him great in any era. The second thing we need to establish is that Michael Jordan, he is the greatest scorer of all time. He averaged 30.1 points per game for his career. That is the highest in NBA history. In the playoffs, he averaged 33.4 points per game, which is also the highest in NBA history. And when it came to the finals, he averaged 33.6, which is second only to Rick Barry. Jordan also has the most 50-point playoff games, as well as the most 40-point playoff games, and he has the highest scoring playoff game in NBA history with 63 points. And to add on to all that, he has 10 scoring titles, the most in NBA history, winning 7 of those consecutively. And lastly, we need to establish the defense in Jordan's era, it was flat out harder. As that era, it was just flat out more physical. The lane, it was definitely more packed, and you had more rim protectors waiting for players at the rim. There was also less space in the court and less room to operate. And having a defender who can put his hands on you and basically guide you wherever he wants, that is a huge disadvantage for a perimeter player like Michael Jordan and any player who played in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. So with those main three things established, I think we can finally dive in to how much Jordan would average in the modern NBA. So for Jordan's career in Chicago, he averaged 31.5 points per game, and his highest scoring season with the Bulls was 37.1 points per game in 1987. And during that year, Jordan would have 2 60-point games, 8 50-point games, and 29 40-point games, including a streak of 9 consecutive games scoring 40 or more points. And if you look at Jordan's shot breakdown, he took 27.8 field goal attempts, 27 of those shots being 2-pointers, and the remaining 0.8 being 3-point attempts, as well as 11.9 free throws. And the glaring number that really stands out is that 0.8 3-point attempts, which for today's standards is absolutely ridiculous. And if you look at the average number of 3-pointers taken in 1987, it was 4.7, compared to 2020, where it's 34.1. That is over 7.5 times as many threes taken in 2020 compared to 1987. And you've got to remember at this point in time, in 1987, the 3-point line had only been around for 8 years, and players who were Jordan's age and older didn't have a 3-point line in high school, college, or half of their NBA career. And during this era, nobody was pulling up from 40 feet like Steph Curry or taking 13 3-point attempts like James Harden. And that simply has to do with people not knowing the importance of the 3-point shot and the value it holds. So comparing 3-pointers taken in 1987 compared to 2020, it is definitely not comparable, but if you look at the pace of play, it is definitely comparable, as in 1987, the pace was 100.8 compared to 2020, where it's 100.3. Also in 1987, the average points per game for a team was 109.9 compared to 2020, which is 111.8, and those numbers once again are definitely comparable. The only huge outlier is the number of 3-pointers taken. So now that we understand the difference in eras, I think we can make a better comparison.
Ooh,
and if
George,
you go back
that was
to Jordan's
disrespectful.
87 season, once again, he averaged 37.1 points per game on 27 2-point attempts and 0.8.
And then another thing too that you have to factor in is considering, and like I say, I'm not the most knowledgeable, but I don't think that Jordan really had that much of a team around him that 1987 season. So for them to actually stand a chance of actually doing something, he kind of had to go above and beyond, extra, like really, 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 really go above and beyond. Like he went above and beyond his whole career. Don't get me wrong, but he really had to because he didn't have no fallback options. So you got to account for that in today's NBA too. You know what I mean? If you was to put Jordan in today's league, how good would his team have been? But that 50 and 60, bro, like you just ain't gonna, you're not gonna sell me on it. I'm sorry.
Attempts, and he shot 18.2% on those 3-pointers. Now, in 1987, there's a 23-year-old Michael Jordan, and I wouldn't say he was in his absolute prime. As a prime Michael Jordan from 1989 to 1983, shot 33.4% from 3 on 1.9 attempts. And his 2 best years were 1990, when he shot 37.6% from 3 on 3 attempts, and 1993, when he shot 35.2% on 2.9 attempts. So I think that is definitely a respectable 3-point percentage, but compared to the modern NBA, only averaging 2 3-point attempts, that is relatively low. So let's up the number of 3-point attempts from 2 all the way to 5. And to give you guys kind of a marker on how good a 3-point shooter I think Jordan would be, let's use Marcus Smart. And Smart, he came in the league an awful 3-point shooter, as from 2016 to 2018, he only shot 28% from 3. But over these past few years, he has definitely improved his 3-pointer, and now he is shooting 35.5% on 5.3 attempts. So we're going to use Marcus Smart's shooting percentages as a gauge and kind of a marker for Michael Jordan. So in 1987, Michael Jordan, he took 27.8 field goal attempts, and let's say 5 of those attempts were 3-pointers, leaving us with 22.8 2-point attempts. And a prime Jordan, he shot 54% on 2-point attempts, giving him 12.3 makes out of 22.8 attempts. Now, on those 5 3-point attempts, let's assume Michael Jordan shoots 35%, which, as you guys know, is extremely realistic. And shooting 35% from 3 on 5 attempts would give him 1.75 makes out of every 5 attempts. Now, let's take a look at the numbers and do some simple math. Jordan, he made 12.3 2-point attempts, 1.75 3-point attempts, and 10.2 free throws. Now, if you multiply that 12.3 by 2, it gives you 24.6, and if you multiply that 1.75 by 3, that gives you 5.3. And if you carry over that 10.2 free throws and add up all those numbers, that gives Jordan an average of 40.1. And I think that number is a great estimate of what Jordan would be able to average in the modern NBA. And if anything, I think it might be lowballing what Jordan could average, as those numbers don't take into account things like better defense, hand checking, better rim protectors, and just tons of other variables that would definitely boost Jordan's point per game average in the modern era, and I would say it would be around 41 to 43 points per game. Now, one player averaging 40 points per game for a season, that is definitely spectacular, but throughout NBA history, a player averaging that many points has never translated to any major success, and Jordan himself, he had to tone down his scoring numbers in favor of winning championships. And the absolute pinnacle of Michael Jordan, I would say, was from 1990 to 1993, where he was able to win 3 consecutive championships. And if you want to look at how much a prime Michael Jordan on a winning championship caliber team would average, I think I have a pretty good estimate of how much that would be. Now, from 1990 to 1983, Jordan, he took 23.7 shots per game. Now, let's once again assume that Jordan takes 5 3-pointers per game, and the rest of his shots are all 2-pointers. And I think if you take into account the lack of rim protection in this era, I would say Jordan, he shoots upward of 58% on 2-point attempts, which would give him 11.2 makes. And
another thing too, bro, when it comes to making these estimates, I'm a realist now. And it's like, I was an athlete, you know. I don't play sports anymore, you know, like I'm talking about like competitively or organized, but I was an athlete, and we got to speak realistically. I never played basketball, but just from what I know of playing football or even playing pickup games of basketball, to say that you're going to average 50 points a game or 60 points a game, even 40, bro, you're going to have to push your body to some horrendous, you know, limits to be able to do that. And assuming that, like, even though the defense in today's league is nowhere near what it used to be back then, that's still not saying they just going to let you walk down the court, drive in, shoot. You might not have as much rim protection as you had back then, but at the same time, you're going to still face some little, you know, you're going to face some resistance. It might not be the resistance that was back in that time, but it's nevertheless it's going to be resistance. So you got to take that into account. Then you got to take into account that at the same time, he's still going to have to play defense, because if he's guarding whatever the best play, his goal is going to be to guard whatever shooting guard. It might be, you know, whoever it is. I'm not going to say no names, but it might be whatever shooting guard. It might be a couple dominant shooting guards, and he got to guard those guys as well. So if you pushing yourself, you coming out there trying to score every possession, because that's what you damn near going to have to be due to average 40, 50, 60 points a game, and then trying to come down there and hold another great athlete. Like, it's just, like, it's no way that your body will be able to withstand that type of, you know, punishment. And then even if you did be able to average that 9 out of 10, it's still, like the guy said in this video, it still wouldn't average out to overall team success, truth be told. You would get the individual accolades like MVP, scoring title, stuff like that, but as far as championship, it's not, because it's a team effort at the end of the day. So that's just my opinion on it. Like, you can't sell me on this, bro. I'm sorry. There's no way.
Do some simple math and multiply all these numbers.
And I want to make sure I'm clearing all this up. I am an MJ fan. I'm not downplaying MJ's game, nor am I disrespecting MJ. I'm just being a realist. That's all.
11.1 times 2 is 22.2 points. 1.7 threes times 3 equals 5.3. And if you add in these 6.6 free throws, that gives Jordan an average of 34.1 points per game.
Now, that's realistic.
That is a pretty good estimate of what a prime Michael Jordan, whose goal was to win championships, would average in 2020. And
that's realistic. I can agree with that.
Prime Michael Jordan, he'll be able to average whatever he wanted in this era, whether that be 43 points per game or 35 points per game. He could basically get whatever he wants. And I don't want to say the modern NBA has no good defensive teams, because there are definitely a few good defensive teams. But overall, the NBA in 2020, it is definitely an offensive league with a fast tempo. And looking at Jordan from an eye test perspective, I think he would thrive on the lack of rim protection and just how easy it is to drive in the lane. And even in these 2020 playoffs, we've seen that once a player gets past the first line of defense, there is virtually no one stopping him at the rim. And most of the time, it is an uncontested layup or an uncontested dunk. And once again, Jordan, being one of the most athletic players ever, he would thrive in this free-flowing era where the spacing is definitely much improved compared to the 90s or the late 80s. So that is really all I have to say about Michael Jordan and what he would average in today's NBA. I think I gave you guys some pretty good data and some pretty good evidence to back up my claims. But as always, I want to know your guys' opinion and how much do you think Michael Jordan would average in the modern NBA. As always, I'll be interested to see what you guys think. But with all this being said, Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, like I said, he said too, man. Hey, don't hold back no punches in these comments. I want y'all to drop your comments and let me know what y'all think. It's just, I'm just saying at the same time, guys, please be realistic. Once again, I'm not disrespecting MJ. I'm not discrediting MJ. MJ is one of the best, if not the best player to ever grace the game of basketball. I'm just going to say it, but it's just time to be realistic, guys. So make sure, don't hold back no punches, man. Let me know how y'all feel. I'm talking about exactly how you feel. If you feel like, Robert, you don't know what you talking about, woo, let me know. I'm not going to take offense to it. But as you guys can see, that's it for this video, man. If you guys did enjoy this video, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, man, make sure you subscribe. When you subscribe, click that post notification bell. You know, if I know all things Rob Television. I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm out to stand. Gang.